I was talking about this the other day, and the one time I hooked up with a bigger lady. I'm not fat phobic, but I did my part,
Yeah,
and I am fat phobic.
You are,
but
you literally
I hooked up
talk about it on stage.
I hooked up with this bigger lady.
Yeah.
And it was the only time I ever did it. And we were laying there afterwards, and then she was like, you have the smallest dick I've ever been with. And then I was just laying next to a fat lady who was just bullying me. I was like, this sucks, dude. This is crazy.
Was she white?
No.
She wasn't white?
No, she was Mexican.
Oh. I was going to say, if she was a fat white girl, she's saying that because she's only fucked black dudes.
Good point.
Do you have a small dick?
I don't think it's small. I don't think it's huge.
It's not.
I think I'm very middle of the
below
road.
Average, though.
No, I don't think I'm below average. I think I am average.
He
Based
says
on
he says
likely
it's very
story.
skinny.
It's skinny. I got a skinny. It's like a. It's like if you saw it, I don't.
Which I respect.
If you saw it, and I talk about it publicly, which is crazy. But if you saw it, you wouldn't go, whoa. You might go, oh. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I think I have the exact penis that you think I have.
I don't.
You know what I mean?
I actually wouldn't imagine you to have like a long, thin penis. You seem
Really?
like, yeah. Like,
I'm more of the girthy guy.
You seem more. You seem like more
chode
girth than
territory.
length.
Dude.
Dude, don't say that. I'm not
Well,
chode
your
territory.
body is kind of that way. You're not super tall. He's 5'9", and
5'11".
no, you're not, dude.
5'10" and a half.
You're 5'9" and 3/4, maybe.
Dude.
You know what's wild?
We measured it.
The last time I went to a doctor, I measured in at exactly 6'1", and I am the same height exactly as every guy who is 6'3" and 6'4". It's crazy.
Yeah.
That
on
doesn't
the
make sense.
No, like when you meet people, they're like, I'm 6'3", and you're like, you line up exactly with them.
Yeah.
And it's every guy literally just adds 2 inches.
Well, every
to the
guy
number.
who's like, I'm 6 foot tall, I'm like, all right, so they're 5'10" and a half.
Yeah.
Because you're literally.
I have ananterior pelvic tilt. Dude. This is a medical. It's a medical condition.
What's an
that I get
anterior
bullied
pelvic
for.
tilt?
My hips. I have weak hip flexors in the front, which throws my ass out, which makes me lose an inch.
This
Yeah,
doesn't.
but that
That's not a
doesn't
medical
make you
condition. That's
taller.
something that you can train.
No, you do shrink.
Yeah, I know, but
That's why, dude. I used to be 6'4".
Your
kettlebell
height,
swings, you pussy.
I'm doing Kegels right now. I'm working on it.
Your height is how tall you are. It doesn't matter if you've lost an inch. When I'm 80 and I'm all hunched back and I'm like shrunk, which is like what happens, and I'm 6 foot tall, I don't get to go, I'm 6'4" because I was 6'4".
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't. That's not how facts work.
Yeah.
You can't just make up what facts are.
I'm not making up what facts are. You're making up what facts are.
You can't just make up what facts are, dude. The facts are there.
You're making up facts.
If you put me on that medieval stretch board,
Yeah.
I'm getting off that thing.
That's what I'm saying. You
I'm
can't
6'1".
stretch yourself.
If
Bro,
I
have you
stretch
ever had
myself
that
like
done?
that, I'm 6'1".
You can't go, my dick is 10 inches. If you stretched it out really, really long, it would go.
And if it's 10 inches, it's 10 inches.
No.
Call a spade, boys.
Have you ever seen the videos of people they do this chiropractic treatment where they put a ring around your neck and they pull it?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't
And
like that.
I love
it's-
watching those.
Dude, I got it done last year. It was everything I thought it would be.
Yeah?
And more. It felt so fucking
Really?
good, dude. Yeah, I mean, I felt taller. Like literally, they just wrap this thing around your neck and pull it. Because the guy was doing treatment. I'm like, can you please do that? And he goes, I don't do it very often. I go, I don't care how inexperienced.
That's
just send
crazy,
it."
dude. For somebody, that's so nuts to be with like a trained medical professional and be like, can you do that?
Well,
thing
medical
where you,
professional is a stretch, but
Yeah, some guy,
chiropractor.
some guy who took a
You have a guy with
certification
a
online.
certificate and he's like cracking you out and you go, can you do that thing where you pull my neck basically off of my body? And he's like, I don't do it that often. And you go, perfect. I mean, you live on the edge.
It
dude.
was fucking awesome because it really just felt phenomenal. But where do you guys draw the line of like people that you call doctors? Like, would you call your chiropractor? Would you be like, I'm going
Fauci.
to see doctor,
No, just kidding.
whatever? Fauci's the line.
Jesus.
Dude.
Where's the camera?
You know the thing about
Dude,
coaching,
shout out the real Anthony Fauci. It's fine.
I think. No, I don't think. You know who I think? Okay. So the question is, where do we stop considering them actually doctors? Chiropractors are up there. I think they might be. I think they might be the last line of defense.
Dentists.
Dentists are doctors.
Okay.
So
Joe Biden.
I actually love the fact that there are some people who are I went to school for 10 years. I studied medicine. People that we normally consider doctors, and then there are people who are like have like a doctorate in like philanthropy, and we still have to be like we still get to call them doctors. I actually really like I would love to be a guy who got a doctorate in something stupid, and I have to be like, doctor at dinner. You know
do not call me dad.
Yeah.
I'm doctor.
There are people that do that where they get a doctorate and it's like you get a doctorate in English and now you're just teaching English class and it's like, oh, Dr. Stein, Timmy didn't do his homework this week. Fucking crazy.
My
I
uncle
actually
has
like that.
Yeah, my uncle has a doctor. He's got a doctorate and he does 3D printing. And it's like, no, dude, you just are a nerd. It's like you're not like but he doesn't make you say doctor. Which would be crazy to be like, I had a family reunion.
Yeah.
What's going? How are you doing, Mike? He's like,
Uncle Mike.
Oh,
He's like, excuse me, Uncle.
Uncle? You know it's Dr. Francis, by the way, right? Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
Did you go to college?
I did, yeah.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to University of Vermont. And
Oh,
You
I
strike
knew
me
that.
as a guy who like did all 4 years, has a degree, and all that kind of stuff.
No, it went well. Like at the beginning, it kind of was like, you know, I was not doing great. You know,
You seem like a guy whose life has gone pretty well.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been awesome. Like all of I'll be straight up. Like my parents are cool as fuck.
Yeah.
I like never really like had like that chaotic of a childhood. Like all of my problems were like self-imposed, right?
Yeah,
like
you're
I got
right,
in a
dude.
lot of trouble at the end of high school, and it was all because I was like, dude, this like prep school existence just isn't for me, man. Like I gotta push
That's
it.
so funny to have like the anarchist thing, because it's like, this nice fucking school my parents sent me to is so gay. I'm gonna rebel.
God, I'm getting accepted into every college that I want to apply to.
Fuck you. I'm not going to Harvard, Dad. I'm going to the University of Vermont.
Yeah, dude.
What'd you
I
study?
mean, to be fair, I went to a Catholic school. So
Which Catholic
private
school?
It's called Bishop McGinnis.
Did Catholic school fuck you up?
No, not really.
Catholic
Up
school's
the
like
ass,
the only-
maybe. Oh, come on. Wow.
suck
Oh,
it.
I still got the knock,
yeah,
dude. It snuck it in.
No, not really. I mean, not necessarily. I mean, I went to Catholic schools like my whole life. My family isn't Catholic, so like it was.
What?
It was just what the private. A lot of the private schools in the area are Catholic schools, so it's just like if you wanted to give your kid a better education, that's just kind of the mode you fell in. There's a bunch of like, there's only a couple Catholic high schools, but like there's so many Catholic middle schools.
So is it like,
which is where I ended up going.
my cousins are all in Alabama, right?
Yeah.
And that's basically what you do is like the schools are not segregated on paper,
Oh wow.
but
okay.
like all the black
had
kids
black
go to the
people.
public school,
We had a
and
couple.
then white kids go to the like it's like either a Christian or like a Catholic middle high school.
Even in
thing.
Florida, they do stuff like that. My girl's mom's a teacher, and so they'll do like, they have like there's specific elementary schools where it's like these are for the gifted kids, and it's like, dude, he's 7. You can't just look at that and go, oh yeah, no.
No, I actually.
Wow, that's
I
crazy.
actually
But there's like a
disagree.
lot of people. It's
And
not
that's
like
within
it's not
the
like
public
60
school
of, it's
system?
not curated.
You can
It's
pay your way into.
Yeah,
the
it's
gifted
literally
place.
like, oh, what zoning district are you in? Oh, your kid's gifted.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
She teaches kids who
Classism,
don't
it
even
does
speak
exist, guys.
English, dude.
capitalism. I don't know.
Capitalism.
I don't
dude.
even know what I'm saying.
Shout out capitalism.
Shout
the
out
best.
capitalism and gerrymandering.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Dude, I've been trying to balance my perspectives.
What is? Go ahead and Google.
You don't know? Well,
Go
gerrymandering
ahead.
has to
Definitely
do
not how
with.
you
I know what
spell
it is.
Gerrymandering has to do with.
It's funny. He Googled it with a J.
All right. Hey, you didn't know what it was, fuckface.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Dude. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Dude, that fucking Jerry guy has been.
I could give you a really terrible definition of it, and I would have looked it up by spelling it with a J. So,
Thank you, man.
But yeah, it has nothing to do with what we're talking about. It's basically just like
The zoning laws.
It's manipulating like zoning and county stuff, and it kind of it affects voting. That's all I really.
Yeah, you
know.
group all. You like separate the poor people and give more areas to the rich, so that the votes go to what you want it to do.
Yeah, exactly. Are the elections are rigged?
Yeah, dude.
Damn, dude, we're having.
Yeah, they
real-
are. How
Shout
the
out
fuck
January.
is Biden?
Real intellectual discussion
We're having
here,
a
dude.
real
What
ADHD.
is there a theme? By the way, we should have. Is there a theme?
This is
to
what
the
happens
podcast?
with me on the helm when I wake up at 8:30 in the morning for the first time in 2 weeks and have
Yeah, hey, thanks for
225
having
milligrams
us
of
super
caffeine.
early, by the way. That was really cool.
Brandon's fault. Brandon
No.
made us come here.
I gave you the all-day availability tomorrow, but you're Mr. Big Booked guy, and you had to go to Houston, so don't get mad at me.
Whoa!
Yes.
What's in Houston?
Me and Nat are doing the Don't Tell run. Have you guys done that run yet? Where you go
No,
down to
but
Houston?
I want to.
Bro,
with Mason
it
and
is
them.
the shit. We are doing 8 shows in 2 days.
That's
And then
because
you
you're
just-
doing Riot too, huh?
Yeah, so we're doing Riot, Secret Group, Don't Tell. So it'll be like 1 at Riot, 2 at Secret Group, 1 Don't Tell every day, and then you
that's
come back.
sick.
It's fucking
How long
awesome.
have you been in Austin?
Been here for 2 years.
Sick. So you came after the COVID rush, but
Bro, so I feel like there weren't many people that moved here around the time that I moved here that are like doing well.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? Like I totally completely missed the wave. And then I think like, bro, straight up people that moved here in early 22 that are doing well, it's basically like me and CJ Landry.
Yeah.
And then after that, huge drop off. And you guys were the only people that have basically like came in when you did and fucking crushed it.
Yeah.
Like
Well, and
everybody
Camp
knew who
Anderson.
you guys were
Yeah.
once you got here. And that's not the case when people move here anymore. It's
Yeah.
really fucking hard.
There's
to
a
move to
lot of
Austin.
saturated. It's saturated here.
We've been talking about that a lot.
We were just
Yeah.
talking about it before you came in. It's
Yeah,
just
I was
crazy.
bitching and complaining,
Yeah.
honestly. but
But it's like
Yeah.
the only scene. I mean, not to do comedy talk, but it is like the only scene where it's like if you're not out every night, people just forget about you because there's so
100%.
many people here. It's like, oh fuck.
But it's also, I genuinely like, I feel bad for open micers here because there's a path of like cross pollination in most scenes where it's like, all right,
Yeah,
the
it's
people
brutal
that do
here.
stuff are going to open mics and they'll be like, oh, you're funny. I'll have you on this thing.
Yeah,
It's not like that. There are people that just murder at mics that never get
bro,
booked.
it's
ever.
crazy. Like when I like CJ, I've known CJ for a while since before he moved to Austin, and he was telling me when I was here, like visiting, and like very like really was like I'm going to move here. Like was explaining the like separation of church and state here. From, like,
that's what it is.
it
too.
really is from like the open mic, like there are very specific layers here.
Yes.
And like when I moved here, like CJ was basically like, don't go do open mics. It's like, cause it's like, I apparently like if you just get in at the open mic level, it's like, first off, it's abysmal. It's awful.
It's terrible.
Dude, I've watched like at the like in the patio at the creek. I've been hanging out there when they come out to drop that mic list, and you just see the swarm of people. It's like a mosh pit, dude. People like throwing bows to get their name on the list for Banana Phone, which is hilarious. It's a fun show to watch, but like they'll like shove women out of the way to sign their name up to do 2 minutes, and then have other comics make fun of them relentlessly in front of a group of people just to be able to say they got on the stage.
It's literally just an hour of you being called a fag.
It's
Like,
so
yeah.
brutal.
And it's like if I wanted that, I'd call my dad.
Yeah. Oh, I hate it. I hate it.
Bro, but there's this like premier open mic thing too, which is like there's the dog shit open mics, which are like the midnight mics, which
Yeah.
are terrible, and then
like
these other ones that
Shakespeare's
nobody
and
comes
shit.
to.
Yeah.
The ones way up north,
Yeah.
not great. But then there's this other thing where it's like there's legit good stage time at some open mics at like at fucking what's Buzzmill, at
hear-
Kick Butt Coffee.
I hear Velveeta Room is okay.
Velv on Thursday is fucking awesome, but the thing is, you can't get on those
Because there's
Yeah.
just too many people.
because if you're like a working comic, you get to message in ahead of time and
Right.
get a pre-signed spot. So there's like 5 spots left for the open micers, and they're just completely fucked.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck,
So there's
yeah.
nothing they can do. Like I genuinely think the move straight up, just stand up wise, is to go to a city where there's a shitload of stage time and there's no opportunity at all to like advance your career, and just go there.
That's
like,
literally what I did.
Yeah, yeah.
Like on accident, but that's just where I just started comedy in Florida.
Yeah.
And there was stage time. Like, dude, I mean, when he moved from San Diego, and he was used to doing like 3-minute open mic spots.
Yeah.
And then like the first show he got booked on,
They were like, "Do you want to do 25?" I was like, "What?"
So like
I was like, I threw up.
I got trained in like a weird way where there was like stage time where I was doing like early on I was doing like 15-20 minute spots, like it's like
awesome.
which like works a different thing, and I got good, but then there's like nothing to do. There's like
Yeah, you go
like you
nowhere
can
with
like
it.
work the clubs there, which are fun, and like make those connections, but then you have to go somewhere
Yeah, I
else.
was in the exact same boat where I was in Boston for like 6 months.
Uh-huh.
And in Boston, it's sort of like here where there's like a really just brutal open mic scene.
Yeah.
And you can't advance at all. And then I went back to Connecticut and then fucking like San Jose. And San Jose is the type of place where like you'd be at this open mic and they'd be like, hey, the next guy's not going to be here for 25 minutes. So we need you to just go up there for 3 people at a bar and just hold it down.
Dang.
And like that was the shit. Like that'll actually get you moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you're here, it's like, yeah, we have Kill Tony, we have Rogan here. But like if you're a genuine open micer and you're starting out, I couldn't think of a worse place to start comedy.
No.
Than here. It's fucking terrible.
Honestly,
New York, maybe.
Yeah.
I feel
straight up.
the difference in New York is you're going to pay for the open
that's
mics,
but like,
like it seems like this is a place you have. I think like New York, it seems crazy, but like you have to be like top notch to move there and like really succeed. Here you can be like one level below that and really succeed. But if you just move here, I can't imagine being like a great like a comic who's just like genuinely getting a lot better over and over.
Yeah.
Like as the days go on, you're just getting better and better and better. But like you're still like the open micer. Like it would be so hard to like bust through that bubble.
You can't get on the mothership mic.
Yeah, because it's not as random as everybody would like to think.
Nope, it's not.
You know?
In fact, it's not at all.
Yeah.
it's about 4 spots are random.
Yeah, exactly. Don't tell that to the line of people who moved here to live in their car to sign up for it every week.
Oh, that's the other thing is like because of a few people, Hans Kim, we created a culture of living in your car.
Yeah, I know,
you're
right?
Gonna be
Dude, now
moving
don't
out
be
of
this
it.
disrespectful. You've got like I got a van energy.
Yeah, no, dude, I got an apartment.
No,
I got an apartment and a day
No,
job.
I'm not
dog.
saying I'm
ready to
not
rip.
saying you live
I
in a
don't get
van.
those
I'm
vibes at all.
saying you look like van life type guy, where it's like
no.
I could totally see you taking like a trip, like a spontaneous trip
Like
to like
I have
La
a van with
Jolla.
a generator. in
Yeah,
it.
yeah. It's like I'm just going to La Jolla this weekend.
You
and I'll
do
see
straddle the vibe of like preppy white guy and like white guy, like a
like surf
Patagonia
guy.
white guy.
Yeah,
I think
you're like in between.
I wouldn't say I have the preppy white guy thing at all. I think it's like it's a mix of like more of like the Patagonia white guy with just like aggressive guy.
Aggressive bro energy.
Aggressive bro energy.
yeah.
Hyper broness, dude.
You know what's funny is more than any other comic, you're the person who people bring. Like I'll like meet a random person, not a comic, and they're like, "Do you know Joe Begley?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know Joe. How the fuck do you know?" Like it's like, "Oh, he goes to my gym. We do cold plunges," or like what? Like it's just like random people who are like, "You know Joe?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know Joe Begley. Yeah,
I get that with you too.
That's so
a lot
weird.
We out here, dude.
Yeah, we're out here. It's women.
I
That's
think-
what it is.
yeah, there's a specific demographic.
It's never like a guy being like, I met this really cool guy. It's always like a girl who's like, do you know Joe? And I'm like, I know Joe.
And we're like,
And I'm like, I'm not gonna ask how you know Joe. Actually, I'm just gonna let this. I'm just gonna.
I don't want this to be ruined
I'm
for
just
me.
gonna let this go. Yeah.
Oh, dude. Yeah, it's I'm opening up for someone next Wednesday, and I basically, well, we're gonna figure out what day it is. People can easily figure out what day it is, but I hooked up with this girl a couple weekends ago, and on her calendar was the dude I was opening up for written down on the date.
Oh no.
And I literally like when she followed me on Instagram, I saw that he followed her.
Oh, no.
I was like,
oh,
I was like,
oh.
what happened? And she's like, yeah, we've kind of been messaging. I'm like, oh fuck,
Yeah.
God
Oh
damn it.
no.
We're all like single comics in their late 20s, early 30s, absolute fucking dogs.
The
dude.
crossover, dude.
especially the sober ones, evidently, dude.
The crossover of like, because the kind of girl who will slide into your DM will slide into my DM.
Yes.
So it's like there is definitely some crossover there. It's just who's gonna take the bait, you know?
Yes.
Who's gonna get to the carrot dangling in front of them
Yeah.
first?
I wouldn't even consider it bait. It's just pretty good.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
we're-
It is funny.
Yeah, I also get a lot of pussy.
I also
like
get.
that
I
too.
mean, I have sex a lot with my girlfriend.
4.5 years.
I get pussy weekly.
Yeah, bi-weekly. It's
that is
guaranteed.
better than me. That's better than like epic
Yeah.
single numbers. Like,
Well, so I had this is inside baseball, but we had a clip and where I found out, if you guys don't, Colton Dowling and Dylan Carlino have a podcast here, and we were doing it, and I found out that Colton, who's a very gay man, has had sex with more women than me, and which was funny.
Wow.
So funny.
Super funny.
Holy fuck.
And
Because
so
we were like, "Are you guys like? Have you guys like been with women?" And then Dylan was like, "Oh, Colton's had sex with like over 50 women," and Josh is just like, "You had sex with more girls than me."
And then somebody in the comments that we know from Florida commented on it and was like, yeah, Josh, you're probably closer to the low average number. And I was like, sick. Yeah.
It's so funny that
because
I
I can't.
know.
What am I gonna do? Be like, I get so much pussy.
I know
And be like,
just
I've
by
been
the
with
voice
my
who that
girlfriend
is.
for 4.5 years. What a no-win
4.5
situation.
is a long
What's
time,
also
too.
like what a no-win situation. I'm not gonna be like, shut the fuck up. I've gotten so much pussy before.
Yeah, there's certain things where whoa, 8 is the
Average?
Found women had a lifetime average of 7 sexual partners, and men had the average of 8.
First of all, how are they different numbers? Are the gay? Are we factoring gay men?
Gay men are like 4. Can you Google average gay? Average. How many people do the average gay men?
600.
7,000. 30% of gay reports 0 to 9 partners in their lifetime.
0 partners? Yeah,
stop
right,
it.
dude.
Is that you mean in a night?
Yeah.
That's
I will say
ridiculous.
26% of people saying 10 or more is a lot. I mean, that's a fourth of gay men have had sex with double digits. That's a lot of
Dude,
Is
people.
so
double
when you
di-
do think about it, though, there is like people that are sexually active, and then there's the people that are like they play Xbox and they don't go out, right? Like,
Yeah,
That's
there's
the
we
zeros.
forget that there, even if you're gay, you can be a fat ugly loser. We forget that. There's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of those.
The only gay dudes I know are like handsome guys.
This is gonna
Yeah.
sound so bad too, but there are part of those people the ones that are like, all right, I wasn't getting any pussy, and now I'm just genderqueer and I'm not getting any pussy.
Oh, that's a thing
Is
for
that-
sure.
Is that
I think there's- no, no.
25%?
I think there's a thing where people.
Let's get into it.
Yeah. So there's a
Three-
real
three-
thing.
4 white guys in a room. Let's get into genderqueer norms.
Hot take. I think that there's what's the phenomenon called where they're like dudes who are like in their late 30s are transitioning to women, and now they're like being like and they get involved in the LGBTQ community, and it's just trying to get like the idea is that they're like there's a whole theory on it, and it's like it's like the peacock theory in a different version of like I'm trying to get it. They're in their last attempt to get attention. There's like a whole theory about it. This is very Ben Shapiro-y, but I don't like it. But there's a real thing about it.
You need something going on in your life. Like you
Yeah.
need something where it's like, okay.
Yeah. It's yeah.
Oh God.
Well, I get it.
Boys, we are about to get ourselves in a lot of trouble.
Well, this is also not my. This is also not my take. There's a thing that somebody's, who's a friend of ours sent me something about it, Jeff, and was like talking about it.
Yeah, I don't know. It is. I get it. That's a good way to get attention for sure. But
To just be screaming at a GameStop.
what'd you guys think about the fucking game? Hey, did you guys watch that sports game like fucking March Madness?
March
Is
Madness.
that-
Madness. The Celtics are on fire right now.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you guys about this. I was thinking, just as an unsmooth transition, is there anything? God damn, Joe, fucking speak English. Do you ever have like a complete just like malfunction of?
Yeah,
I don't
every
get
day.
up this early ever.
Yeah,
I'm up.
especially
Dude, yeah.
at 10
I'm up at 10:30. I usually have my first cup of coffee at like noon.
Yeah.
And then I eat at 1. So
You know what I've
like,
been
this
doing?
is like a new thing for me.
I think do you work out? You take pre-workout?
I don't know.
No, I think I'm like addicted to Bucked Up right now, which is
Oh no.
yeah, which is a crazy thing.
he like legitimately is addicted to pre-workout.
I'll take like a
it's
scoop and I'll go to the gym and I'll be walking out the door and I'll be like, I need to get another scoop.
How many milligrams are?
333 of caffeine.
Holy fuck, Josh.
I'm a truck.
and
Yes.
he's a very anxious guy as well.
Well, I've been.
Yeah, that
dude,
doesn't
yesterday
help
I,
your
yesterday
anxiety.
Yesterday I couldn't see. My vision got like fucking blurry as shit at the gym, and I was like, oh fuck. And then I went home and then was like, I'm still gonna take it tomorrow.
Dude, I've had some gnarly panic attacks on pre-workout because also what they put in there, they put in niacin, which makes your whole skin flush
Yes.
and everything. So you just get like you're so fired up, but you're also itchy.
You're on
which
meth.
is a terrible experience.
It's
Yeah,
meth.
you're fully methed out.
Yeah.
But dude, I've had some the experience of taking something like a Bucked Up, going to the gym and throwing weights around, it is like it's like a sober ecstasy.
It's a primal thing.
crazy.
Well, dude, whenever you're on pre-workout, pre-workout really is like it's a threat. It's going. You're either gonna feel crazy or you're gonna work out really hard. You've picked.
Yeah.
It's really just threatening your basically
Inside of you are two
like,
wolves.
The whole inside of you are two wolves. One of them is gonna have a panic attack, or one of them is gonna throw up heavy shit.
Yeah, the other one's gonna hit a PR.
That's really all it is. It's like do you want to freak out?
Bucked up is even crazier too because I don't.
Wait, is this the one with deer antlers?
Yeah, I was gonna say it has.
Oh my god, dude!
It's basically like Chinese, like it's like Chinese like penis wine. It's like these weird like, oh well, in certain tribes they take ground up rhino antler or rhino horn to
get rid of
to help with like sickness and erections, and it's like that's basically what you're doing.
I take it. The selling point.
Ray Lewis was taking Ray Lewis and
You're
Josh
basically Ray
Francis are
Lewis.
doing.
I am. Yeah, me and Ray get along pretty well, and it's funny because the selling point when I was buying it for the first time, bucked up at the GNC, the guy was like, yeah, so it was like listing all the stuff off, and he goes, and between you and me, it's got deer antler in it, and I was like, does it? I don't know what that means, but I'll take it right
you
now.
And me, as if like
It's
deer
not
antler was not on the fucking label, and they only told the
As
guy at
if
GNC.
it's not the whole selling point of the thing. And between you and
It
me,
is crazy though because like supplements like that aren't FDA approved at all, and you just take them in high doses every single day for years.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I would not be surprised. I mean, I haven't had a solid shit in fucking months.
It just makes you explode.
Dude, so you know what's nuts about those pre-workouts? I've gone in and taken one, and you show up and you're like, I'm ready to throw some fucking weights around, right?
Yeah.
And you don't want to warm up at all. So
Yeah.
I've gone in and been like, today's squat day, and just like put up the max right off the bat on there. And there's nothing worse than going in, having 335 milligrams of caffeine in your fucking system, throwing your back out on the first set.
Yeah.
And now you're literally paralyzed. You can't fucking walk, and you're just like, I'm ready to fucking go.
Yeah, dude, you're just freaking out.
Horrific. Like,
I can't do it. Like as somebody who's like done like legitimate drugs, pre-workout is like
a drug, yeah.
Like for real. Like I remember the first time that I took pre-workout, I was working at a treatment center. I was probably like a year and a half or 2 years sober or something like that. And part of my day was to take the guys to the gym. So then I would just work out with them. I was like, yeah, free workout, whatever. And you could buy it by the scoop at the front and like which is really funny way. It's like being able to buy like
a
Coke
bump.
by the gram. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, let me get just like a little bump of the grape.
Yeah. And then
like,
some 16-year-old kid gives it to you.
yeah, and I took it, and they give it in this little tiny styrofoam cup, and I just like shot it back, and I had a great workout. But then like I had to work all night until like midnight, and I remember just being in the office by myself and just being like, I'm high.
yeah.
Like legitimately,
high as
I'm
fuck.
high.
It's how I would stay awake during like watch in the military. It's like the Marine Corps gave me bad, dude. I got addicted to
Dude, our country is being protected by the boys on Bucked Up.
Dude, we really are.
The troops are bucked up.
It's crazy because it would be like, I remember waking up one time. I had a 5-hour watch, and it was 1 a.m. and I was like, took a fucking scoop to the dome, and I was just for 5 hours just like hallucinating on a ship. I was just sitting out there being like, I'm gonna fucking do
The
it.
boys are just doing a little.
Yeah.
right before you
Just
get out
like-
there.
Yeah, dude. That's crazy. I can't do it.
That
dude.
and whippets.
Yeah.
Dude, so many people
Jesus
do whippets.
Christ.
But
How do
they're
you guys
not-
even get it? Or are you just
they're
like,
ju- you guys are
we
just
need the
doing what-
boys need whipped cream. dude.
Yeah.
Send it.
I don't think our military's
Well,
allowed
not-
to have whipped cream.
Well, I mean,
That's
when you're stateside, you can get whatever you want.
Oh,
when you're
yeah.
out in the fucking.
And I guess you guys are doing the thing that people on probation or
Yes.
getting drug tested do, where you do all the drugs that just don't come up on. You're doing whippets. I'd imagine people are doing
Lot of
mushrooms, coke, because that gets out of your system really
Lot of
quick.
coke.
Yeah.
Damn. So it's not like being a cop where when you do the interview process, they're like, hey, have you ever done
Oh, no, they do
any
that.
narcotics?
Oh, they do that.
But they
You
don't do it under like lie detector, right?
Yeah, well, like, I mean, do this thing. So they do this thing at boot camp. This is fun. So what they do is when you go to boot camp, they keep you up for like 3 days. And at the very end, they do this thing called the moment of truth. And that's when, like, before you join, you sign all this paperwork that's like, I've never smoked weed. I've never drank under the age of 21. I've never had my ears pierced. I don't have any tattoos that aren't documented. No medical conditions that are unlisted. They keep you up for 3 days, and then they have it's like the second time that you see drill instructors, and then there's just like a group of like the scariest men that are like walking you, like pacing up and down, and then they're like, "You're gonna fucking tell me if you fucking did anything." And then the amount of people who are just starting to fucking fold, like a kid right in front of me was like, "I had ADHD," and they just kicked him out. Like, it was crazy. Yeah, it was just that for like fucking.
I have scoliosis. I'm sorry. I didn't want to tell you.
I folded, dude. I folded. I raised my hand, and they're like, "What?" And I was like, "I had my ears pierced."
Wait,
yeah.
I didn't know this about you. You had your ears pierced?
Yeah, dude. Can you go to Facebook on this thing?
I had out of the military for having your ears pierced?
No.
It's kind of funny that they basically just want to be like, if you were cool at all or did any cool shit,
yeah.
you can't be in the fucking. We only want fucking nerds.
Who the fuck here got pussy?
Yeah,
the ears pierced thing was just like their way to like put don't ask, don't tell back in.
Yeah.
They're like, did you have your ears pierced?
Was it the
Homo,
left
get out of
one?
the military.
That's how that was their new version of don't ask, don't tell. They were like, well, what are his ears pierced? Be honest.
Yeah.
I had my cartilage pierced too. They almost shot me.
Oh my god.
Wait,
dude.
you had like up
Yeah,
here?
dude. I wanted.
Dude, that's
I had
so
a so
funny.
So
Jersey
if you
Shore
drank
was in.
under the age of 21, you can't be in the military.
I don't know if it's one of the questions they ask, like how often have you consumed
Bro, I
alcohol?
feel like nowadays, like the army is just all dudes that were just like doing whippets at
it's
16.
Dude, that's all it is.
Like,
Well, that's all it's ever been.
no offense.
It's either.
No, that's all it's ever been.
Here's what I think, and obviously correct me if I'm wrong. It's all like ROTC kids who like it's the video of that little kid just like, you just disrespected a future U.S. Army soldier. It's like a kid like that. Who, like that was.
He
like,
actually is a soldier now too.
Yeah,
by the
that's
way,
awesome.
Yeah.
Good. And it's like either people who were like those kind of kids who like always were gonna serve, or it's people who have done all the things that you're asking about and are like, fuck, dude, I have nowhere to go.
Yeah, well, it's such a good it's such a good bridge to get where you. It's like, if I didn't do it, I would have been like making pizzas in Mason City, Iowa. So
my
it's
friend
like
Steve just enlisted at 30.
Crazy.
Which is crazy.
What
Whoa.
branch do you know?
He's going straight up Army.
Yeah.
But he's got a college degree.
That's a funny way
and
to say it.
Dude, he's been working for like 8 years.
up
No
Army.
cut.
Yeah,
No
so
cut
I
on
think
this
he's
shit.
like on officer track,
I was gonna say,
which is good.
That's better. Yeah, that's way better.
like way better. But dude, like,
What an interesting thing to get into in your 30s.
Dude, there was a dude. I had a dude in my boot camp platoon who or he wasn't in my platoon, he was in my company, but he was in the Army and did like 4 years in the Army, went to Iraq twice, spent 2 years of his life in Iraq in the infantry, got out, worked as a mechanic for like 12 years, and then re-enlisted in the Marines. So he went to the Marines after and he was like 33. And then it's crazy because it's like he was getting yelled at the same way that I was getting yelled at, but he's been to like Iraq for like fucking years, dude. Look at the ears pierced, bro, right there.
There it is.
wait,
Zoom in.
Oh,
You can see the cartilage too, bro.
my God, bro. Oh my God. I never thought a picture would come up of you sitting next to a guy with a flat brim backwards, barely sitting on his
Welcome
head, and you would be the douchiest one in the picture.
2012, baby. Look at
those
that.
big ass studs and the cartilage, dude. Oh my God.
Yeah, man, I got no pussy.
It's really funny how many phases you've been through, but like, because there's pictures of him where you're like, oh, you were like a fucking nerd.
Yeah, dude.
And then there's pictures of like this where I'm like,
The
oh,
Linkin
you
Park
were,
era.
You were like,
The-
that's crazy.
Bro, I can't tell you how many of those two guys I grew up with, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really?
So
No,
many
dude,
of
we
them.
are
That's insane.
we are your friends.
The visuals of you two make me wonder who that small child is and if she's okay.
That's my friend's sister's daughter.
Speaking of, like, these are your two friends, it is alarming living in Austin, Texas, how many of my friends have been addicted to heroin. It's crazy.
Well,
I've never
heroin's
had
great.
Like, Brandon and me are in the same boat because we basically have mostly the same friends. But it's like, you'll forget because of how normal and well-adjusted you guys are. But, like, we're at Uptown Sports Club. It's 12:30. We're having a nice burger. And just, like, all of a sudden the topic of, like, black tar heroin come up.
Yeah.
And, like, you and Spencer Cavins, who are, like, two of my most normal, well-adjusted friends in comedy. Like by comparison to some of the other people I hang out with, you guys are just like normal fucking dudes. And you're just like, oh, you did black tar heroin? How long? And you're like, oh, fuck, did you shoot it or did you smoke it? And you're like, oh, yeah, we shot it. And you guys high-fived across the table and then just, like, kept eating dinner. And I'm like, this is fucking crazy.
It does become a weird norm where I just, like, talk about it. And people are like, oh. And, like, even when I try to talk about it on stage sometimes, I'll be like, I was addicted to heroin. And you can hear the crowd go, like, oh, no. Oh, no. But it's just, like, it's just, like, it was, like, a thing I did. Crazy guy, you know. Some people got their ears pierced. Some people got heroin.
Some people got their cartilage pierced because they watched Jersey Shore. You know,
you could say getting your ears pierced was Josh's heroin. It's a thing he did at the time because he thought it was cool and it made him feel good. And now he looks back on it and he goes, "I can't believe I did that."
Yeah.
Dude, crazy.
You never done like hard drug. I mean, you done like blow.
I was doing blow every other weekend for like 7 years.
That's how you do it, though.
Yeah.
You do it on the weekends. My thing is my thing is like if you can do like hard drugs like every once in a while, that's the best way to do it.
But blow is a crazy one because I would imagine like with heroin pretty quickly it's like we're all in the shit. But like blow it takes years. Like at the beginning it's you and your boys, you all graduate college, you get a bag on the weekend, you're like, we got a bag.
Yeah.
And you stay up until 8 a.m. and then you all sleep until 4 in the afternoon the next day. And you're like, that was crazy. And then you go to work on Monday and then you keep doing it. And then there's just one guy who is like, it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then you're like, he has a problem.
Yeah.
And I know he's doing it during the week and he's not telling us.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, I mean, I've got so many friends from like when I was doing comedy in the Bay where I had to sit down and have a conversation with this one dude because while we were doing this shit, he was ballooning up to like 400 pounds. And we know a couple of these guys in Austin. And I go, hey, man, you can be fat.
As long as you bully Josh.
And you can do cocaine. But you can't be fat
and do cocaine
because you're going to be dead.
If you are fat and you're actively doing a lot of cocaine, you are being as unhealthy as you possibly can be.
Oh, 100%.
Because if you are finding the time to gorge yourself to the point of like obesity and you're doing cocaine, you're not eating because you're hungry. You're eating because you have a problem. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Coke and drinking. Now that I'm getting to like, now I'm 30 and it's like, you see people who are like obviously kind of have a drinking problem or like are still doing blow like a lot. Yeah. And you go, oh, it took this long. But like I started doing like Oxy when I was like 18, 19.
Wow.
And then like it gets bad pretty quick. And then once you start like I turned 23 in rehab. So I got sober like young. And people are like, wow, that's crazy. And I'm like, yeah, but like, and there, don't get me wrong, there are people who do heroin for like a long time. Well, not anymore. But now that fentanyl's and everything, people don't do heroin for a long time. but it's they do it for a little bit, and then they're remembered very fondly. And it's just the truth. It's just the truth. God. But yeah, it gets so bad so quick where it's just like, because you don't like, it's not like heroin's a thing that you start like doing on the weekends for like a while. Like once you get to heroin, it's not like, you know what, I do feel like blue cheese tonight. They get crazy. It's not that at all. But drinking and shit like that, because it's, and even Coke is like so normalized that it does take a while for people to be like, all right.
I see Coke out here all the time. Way more than I saw in Florida.
Thank God. I stopped doing it like probably about 4 years ago now. Mm-hmm. Thank God. Yeah. Because if I moved down here and was still letting it rip, I would be a fucking
it's around
mess.
It's around. Like
it's
so around
every club.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's like, oh, people will be like dipping off to do bumps and we're like, we're at a comedy show. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, dude.
Stop it.
I know. I don't get the combination of cocaine and comedy is hilarious.
It fucks your timing up completely.
I can't imagine doing comedy on Coke.
Yeah.
I don't think that it would be comedy. I think it would be idea. I would just have an idea And then
it just turns into like the next Apple convention, like Steve Jobs. Yeah. You're just like a huge
I actually
audience.
made a PowerPoint for you guys. 1 second, drop the screen.
I've invented water slides that go into the ocean.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it really is.
Maybe it would be funny if you just leaned into it and just full Casey rocketed the set. You
Just-
know,
yeah,
where you
just
just-
full, like, yeah.
He's one of a kind, man. I don't know if I could do that. I'd have a
doing
fucking heart
coke.
attack.
Doing coke on stage.
Maybe that's why there's so many people who just fucking bomb their dick off and have no idea. Because they're like,
Yeah, they're
you know
still
the like
just- they just feel
confidence you have
great.
when you're on coke, and then like you don't even like, it's like you're being like, to a sober person, you're being like a crazy like person, and you're just like, no, this is going great.
Yeah.
She's like bombing, talking a mile a fucking minute, and you're just like, yeah, that went great. And it's like, no one laughed at all.
Yeah, nobody laughed for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was.
You guys.
It's like, yeah, you guys know when you're about to shit right now.
Yeah.
You guys know.
I mean, there is
You guys
like
know you can
a
taste
level
it.
of fucking straight up delusional confidence that comes with some people where it's like the inability to recognize a bomb is nuts. to me.
I think comedy is not. It doesn't. It's not just. That thing isn't solely happening in comedy. It's just the world that we're in. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, I've seen so many straight up delusional people just in general that like think they're just crushing, and it's like like dudes who like work at like. There's a specific thing. I'm from Iowa. There's a specific thing that happens. There's a trajectory of guys in my hometown where it's like, all right, they go and they try to be personal trainers, and then they realize there's like, I'm not kidding, there's 10 dudes like this. I know like 10 to 15 dudes. They tried to be a personal trainer, but they're in Iowa, so they can't maintain that. They can't pay rent.
There's already 2 personal trainers.
Yeah, there's already
Where
2.
Are they gonna work?
Yeah, there's already 2 personal trainers at both the gyms in Mason City. There's no one else. You can't. The market's oversaturated.
There's
with
already
2
2
dudes.
guys making $33,000.
Yeah,
a year.
yeah.
They're a
What
personal
are they
trainer
gonna, so
at
it's
the
like they go
YMCA.
and they try to do that. Like they're like, I'm a CrossFit. I'm a CrossFit fucking personal trainer now. And then it's like that doesn't work out. So then they're like, all right. Super excited to announce that my fucking collaboration over at the Hyundai, I'm gonna be selling cars now. and then it's like these delusional posts from there where it's like, Janet and I are very excited. We're super excited to tell you guys that she just qualified for a pre-owned certified 2014 Ford. And it's like they make Facebook posts and they think they're crushing it. I'll run into them at the bars and it's like they're having a good time for sure, but there's a level of like, you know that this isn't how you wanted it to go, right?
Yeah, and then
Like
the bragging about the achievements on Facebook is just
It's nuts.
nuts.
I get it's a marketing strategy, but it's like so funny to be like scrolling Facebook at like 3 a.m. and I'm like getting back from like shows and I'm just like, oh, it looks like it looks like Derek sold a Chevy today. That's good for him, man.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad that he made $200 on commission this month. You know what
For
I
some
mean?
people, that's all they need, though. All they
true.
need. Some people just.
I'm not shitting on that.
If you
but
live
it
in
is.
Iowa and you make $60,000 a year and you live like a king, and you have your wife and you cheat on her every once in
Dude,
a while,
the amount of times I think like how easily I could just like go and my buddy, my roommate from college, I knew him growing up. He went back for his master's when I was going to the university, and so we roomed together. He makes like he bought like 5 acres of land and like a fucking 3-bedroom house for $80,000. It's fully paid off right now. He's just the rest of his life, he just hangs out.
I was gonna say like
That's so sick.
The selling cars thing is the most
He still
stable
has to
part of
work.
that journey. Like
He does, but-
that's the move where you're like, oh, dude, you're figuring it out.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah.
Like for me, I wonder like when we look back on like the tale of like Joe Bagley's life, is it gonna be like, oh yeah, he finally just like got a job and like he met a nice girl and stopped being a fuckboy.
He finally
and,
quit that silly comedy
yeah,
thing,
like
and he got a job at Graco Honda, and
And he crushes.
because you know
He's
like
doing
as much
so
as we're
good.
making fun of this guy, like none of us make $33,000 a year.
hey,
whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, what
I
are you,
didn't
my
realize
fucking?
this was a financial podcast.
Yeah, what are we getting audited right now?
Hey, it's not that close.
It's all right.
Hey.
But you're right. You are right. But it's just.
But there is
it
this
just
weird thing
funny
where it's
to-
like it is a lot cringier on the self-improvement side of Instagram, where you're watching people that are like telling people like you just need to do this, and you're like, dude, this was the career path that you started doing because the other shit wasn't working out.
Yeah.
So like, in what world are you like qualified to be just espousing life advice?
Yeah,
to
when are you?
people?
Well,
Like,
yeah,
this
why,
is not
yeah.
cool.
You know what the worst one is? The woman version of this is a woman in her late 20s, early 30s who's like, I just got my real estate license.
Yeah, I knew you were going right away.
Oh, you have nothing. You have nothing to do.
Your husband is making you get a job.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Like, I know people who have got their real estate license and like because they have like a husband or whatever, and they've made like literally $0.
Yeah.
Like
Crazy.
literally like because they don't sell anything or they don't work that often, or like a lot of those places you might work for like a whatever, like a firm. I don't know what like. And like they're not paying you to be there. You're getting a cut. They're getting a cut, and of whatever you're selling.
Yes.
And so if you don't make any money, they're like, yeah, you don't even have to be here. Like it's like you're not in our way.
There's no base salary at all.
There's no base salary. There's no nothing. So it's like if you don't sell, but you just need to have this business card, put your face on a bus stop. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Pay $2,500 a month. Have your face on Sixt. Who cares? Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, there's like somebody was explaining this to me too, that like especially in like small town local real estate markets, like 2 or 3 agents will run like 80% of the whole market, and then everybody else makes nothing.
Yeah.
You make zip.
I thought about doing real estate.
Every
it would be
guy
fun.
goes through a real estate.
Well,
thought.
bro, because I got sober, and then I worked at a UPS store, which I did when I was fucked up too. And then when I moved to Florida, I worked there.
That's
a
a great fucked up job,
You're
dude.
telling me, bro.
Taking in those returned Amazon packages.
Bro,
Like,
you're telling me. You mean rattling packages around, being like, sounds like there's pills in there. I had many come-ups from the UPS store.
you were jacking packies?
Oh, yeah, dude. Allegedly. This is all
Allegedly.
props.
This is by the way.
That's
these
what we
are-
like to say.
these are-
I'm still not really totally sure on what
satire law.
This is satire. This is a comedy podcast, but yeah, I took a lot of shit out of a lot of people's
Statute
packages.
of limitation.
And
Yeah.
technically, UPS is a privately owned company. It's not the USPS, so it's not a federal
Right.
company. So, because getting into people's USPS is a federal crime. I don't know if UPS. Either way, this is all
the
fake.
UPS store
yeah.
fucking stinks. When you get there and you're like, all right, I need to mail like this box of like shoes to someone for whatever reason,
Like-
I can get free shipping on shoes to my house.
Yeah.
But then when you like need to send a pair of shoes to someone, they're like, that'll be $47.
Yeah.
It's like,
If you want it to get there in 8 days, if you
Yeah.
want it to be 2, it's 95.
Yeah.
And
And
you
you're
have to
like,
package
what
it
the
yourself.
fuck?
And,
Yeah. It's
Like,
not cool, but
it's
I loved
crazy.
I loved working there because once you know everything, it's just like you know how to deal with anything, and I would just like get fucked up and like take people's shit. But then when I got sober, I did that. But then I after that I was there was a guy who worked at CarMax, and he would come in and he was like, you should try to work at CarMax, and I did. I sold cars for a little while, and when you're there, what I'm realizing.
Were you super excited to announce that?
I was
Janet, bro.
I was very not excited, and I was so bad.
Like nodding off in a Hyundai
Because
Sonata.
no. This is when I was sober. So, but like I'm great at customer service, but people would be like, I don't know, this just seems like it might not fit in my budget, and I'd be like, you're probably right.
You're
You
just
know?
honest.
Yeah, and just
Bad
like, yeah, you
salesman.
don't need this. But and then I realized working that job, now that I'm thinking about it in this conversation, it's like everybody there was either an old guy who was just selling cars to make extra money, or was like somebody who was like, I'm trying to get on to the next thing of making money. Like it was like, no, you can be a merchandiser for, you know, those they have one here. Every business has those boxes that have like the little things of medicine in them, and it's like it's like a white box, and it's like it'll have like Band-Aids and ibuprofen, and like gyms will have them. You have to have them in certain businesses. And like one guy, like that was his thing. He was like, my uncle works for them, dude, and it's such an easy job, and he makes like $60K a year. And I was like, no shit. And so like everybody's, and then like one guy was like working on his real estate license, and I was like, yeah, and he was like, dude, my buddy does it. It's always
it's always
everybody
everybody who
just
does,
has a
yeah.
friend who goes, I make $55,000 a year with benefits, and people are like, that's the next fucking thing, you know, because it's all. And so like I was on every one of those, like looking into it, like on Indeed, like merchandiser for, you know, like whatever. And then like I looked into like doing like real estate, and then I realized how much goes into like you have to like study, and I was like, I'm not gonna
What are you
study.
studying, dude?
You have to pass the
You
fucking
running these
test.
equations out there, bro?
No, you have to pass like a test. It's like I don't know what it is. I guess it's like if a single mother wants a home, what do? You finance the shit out of it. You
put her in debt for the rest of her life.
Yeah, you give her a 30-year mortgage. I don't
what
know.
is this, a trick question? You make her fucking broke.
Yeah, exactly. So I remember those schemes, dude. Those are fun. Those were fun days.
Comedy was my I went to school to be a teacher.
Really?
Yeah, I graduated and I have an English lit degree and I could be a fucking teacher, but I was like, let me go bomb. Let me go bomb for a little while.
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys. We were all available today at 9:30 in the morning on a Thursday, which means that none of us are really working formal jobs.
Yeah.
What are we doing
again.
for cash right now?
Well, we're comedy full time. You don't need to have a real job if you have 5 roommates.
Speaking of business schemes.
Yeah. Well, what if I told you could never have insurance?
Yeah.
How would you like to make?
What if I told you you'd be hungry?
What if I told you could make $1,400 a month?
Yeah. We do comedy full time. I don't think I could ever go back to a job. Waking up for this was such a nightmare.
It was so hard. My alarm went off at 8:30, and
mine was 8:40, and I'm like, okay, like if I had to do this every day,
was such a piece of shit.
Yeah, it was immediately.
It was crazy. I did have a thought where I was like, what the fuck, Joe?
trying to fall asleep last night
at a normal hour,
and like not being able to at like 3 a.m. and knowing I had to be up in 5 hours to do a podcast. I was like, this motherfucker.
It's hilarious my alarm went off at 8:55, and I was like, God damn it, Joe, why 9? It's such a normal time to wake up, 8:55. Like, by 8:55, people have like went to the gym. Somebody's been working for an hour and a half at 8:55.
Oh, it's wild.
I was listening to an Andrew Huberman podcast yesterday because I'm trying to get smarter, and he was talking about like the benefits of like red light therapy in the sun and stuff, and he was like, yeah, I often wake up before the sun comes up, and I was like, ew,
gross.
Yeah,
ow.
Bro,
I'm over it.
During daylight savings time in Texas, it's actually like very easy to do because the sun doesn't rise until like 7:30. Like,
really?
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm gonna wake up at 7:30.
Yeah, dude.
I'll wake up at 7:30 for one thing: golf. Golf or a flight that I have to make. That's literally it.
Flights are. I'm now at a point where I'm like, I'm spending an extra $50 if I don't have to wake up before 10.
Bro.
I'm done doing 6 a.m. flights. When I went to Florida with Lazer, he booked my flight, and both of my flights were at 6 a.m. And it was like the night before the one that I flew, I couldn't fall asleep, so I like legitimately did not sleep. I got sick the day that I got to Florida. I was sick all week, and then our last show, we were out till like 2 after, and then the airport was 45 minutes away, and my flight was at 6. It was at 5:55 a.m. So I was like, oh, I guess I'm not sleeping tonight either. And then I got back here and slept for 18 hours straight.
So you're just sober, exhausted with Uncle Lazer, which is a good time.
Just coked out Lazer, just like trying to have a good time in Boca Raton, Florida.
He tried to bring a stripper to our family dinner when we were in Massachusetts, which is just crazy.
That's
crazy.
Hilarious.
He's on brand all the time.
It's dude, I you need to stop. We've already done this story on the pod, but literally like we were at my parents' house and we're pulling into the driveway. I go, how do you want me to introduce you to my parents? Are we going with Tyler or Uncle Lazer today? And he goes, Lazer's fine. I'm like, please stop.
So sick.
Please don't do that.
That's so funny.
Dude, but he's a fucking wild boy. But dog, I'm with you on these fucking flights because straight up, I used to be the guy where I would go on like Google Flights, and if it was $225 to fly out at 5 a.m. and it was $275 to fly out at 10:30, we're going on the fucking 5 a.m. flight.
Yeah.
And then it just got to the point where I'm like, hey, $50 is, no matter how little money I have, is not worth fucking up 2 days of your life.
Yeah,
like
it
just
really
ruins
is what
you.
It is. It really will fuck you up.
Like
and
you're just
I can't
gambling
sleep on planes either, so it's like,
yeah, dude, you're gambling that like you're like, okay, I'm basically like trading money to ruin a full day of my life.
Yeah.
I'm like, I value a full day of my life.
and guys, our
At
life
this
is
age.
already so hard.
Yeah.
We had to wake up at 9 today.
We had to wake up at 9 as white guys.
Terrible.
Our life sucks.
Dude, my mom fucking sent me money this morning. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, wow. Oh, Mom, thanks. You paid my rent.
Oh
What the
God,
fuck?
damn it! No, I wish that would be great if that happened. My
That
mom,
would
it
be
was
rad.
it was my birthday. My mom got me a $40 gift card to Domino's. So funny to me.
Oh no.
Just so funny to be like, what did I send Josh?
One meal from Domino's.
One meal from Domino's.
Dynamos.
I was like, all right. I mean, obviously, love it. That's great. It's so fun. But it's just such a random thing to get. You know what I mean? To open up a card and be like, oh, cool. I guess. I mean, yeah, I guess I'll get Domino's.
Here's a gift card to Taco Cabana. Enjoy.
Yeah, it's like, all right, fuck yeah, dude. To be fair, that's kind of what, when you get older, that's all I send my parents, though. For, like, their gifts, it's like, they have, like, a restaurant in town that they go to. So it's like when on their birthday, their anniversary, Christmas, I give them like $150 gift card to those places.
So you're getting them triple the amount of gift cards that they're getting.
Yeah, now
you.
that I'm thinking about it, Mom, what
Dude,
the fuck?
It's all supposed to level out with time once you reach a certain
Well,
age.
one day they'll start shitting themselves, and you'll have to take care of them, or at the very least pay to take care of them. And that's the cyclical thing about it all.
Yeah.
One day our parents are gonna die.
That's tough, dude.
This has been the Joe Begley podcast.
Yeah, dude.
What is the name of this?
It's kind of gay, so I don't want to say it.
No, say it.
I was gonna call it "You Should Talk to Someone" because it was gonna be a solo podcast, but then I did 3 episodes of that and decided that it was we were having guests.
Doing solos
Solos
is impossible.
brutal.
I've
It's
tried.
so fucking hard.
It really makes you respect the guys like Tim Dillon, like the people who can just rant for an hour.
Well, he's also funny when he does it. Like he's doing like
He's an
riffs about
insane
like the
person.
Obamas eating children, and you're
Yeah.
like, this is top.
You know what I
fucking
think
notch.
it is, and is that people who can do solo podcasts like Tim Dillon, even though he's like a goofy, like crazy guy, he's so smart.
Yeah, he's
Like he
well-read.
has a lot of information to be able to talk about. Like if somebody pulled up the most recent political scandal here, I would just be like, fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's like.
What do you guys
all
think?
I would
Should
be
we
able to
ban
do.
TikTok? What do we think about that?
Yeah, exactly. I don't.
I
give a
vote
shit.
yes, dude. Let's
I
get rid of it.
my shit flops
Yeah,
on
dude.
TikTok. I don't give a fuck.
I'm a patriot, dude.
Dude, a full page.
Get that fucking Chinese app out of here. The
I gotta say,
spyware.
I had a full poppin' TikTok for a while, and then I said something about the Uyghur Muslims in China, and they just like shut my account down for like 6
Really?
months. It's fucking
What?
brutal.
Oh, now we can't even talk about the Muslims in China.
Sick. Okay, what are we at? We're right at 10:45.
Perfect.
So I guess we're wrapping this fucking thing up.
Thanks for having us, man. Thanks.
Yeah, 100%. I would say it's. I don't even think it's worth plugging the things that you have to plug. Just
Go follow the
these-
Triple F podcast.
Triple F Podcast.
Yeah.
Good Girl Studios
Good
on
Girls
YouTube.
Studios, Josh Francis comedy, Matt Ross comic. I expect 2 to 3 follows from this. So.
Yes, dude, get them there 2 to 3. And yeah, thank you boys
Thank
for
you for
coming in and
having us,
being so
Joe.
candid and honest with us. We really appreciate
I can't wait
it.
to go back to sleep.
Hey, you know what? You should call somebody.
Dude, it's not. You should call.
Or you should talk to somebody.
Fuck